Would you guys believe me if I told you that I was almost married at a very young age? It's crazy to me, but let's get into that story time because I almost got married. Before we get into that story time, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Langelihle Mpanza, and if it is your first time on this channel seeing me on your screen, what's up, what it do, baby? It is me, and I hope you will be subscribing to this channel because I promise you this is the place to be. Here is where you need to be. And if you are a returning subscriber, what it do, baby? Today I have a story time for you guys, and I'm feeling because this one, this is the story time that almost made or broke my life. Because y'all need to tell me, would you guys have stayed in such a situation? Because guys, I love danger, but I know when to run away. Now let's get into the story. Now I'm fresh out of varsity, and just to make things clear, I always knew that I wanted to get married at a very young age. I've always told my parents, always told my family that I see myself getting married at the age between 21 and 25. That was my vision, that was my goal. So I'm fresh out of varsity, and I have told myself that because I'm fresh out of varsity, of course I want to gain some experience in my field, and that is exactly what I had planned on doing. But because in my field it is not easy to gain experience unless you have like a honors or you have a master's, I decided that I was going to take up an internship. Now I saw this internship that a friend had been advertising, and this friend already had an honors and was currently doing her master's. So I decided that no, I was also going to apply for this internship because I thought that it was going to open gates for me. It was going to be a career thing, in my career. Little did I know that it was also going to make me meet my Prince Charming. Now I applied for the internship and I got called for an interview. So you get called, there was two sets of interviews. There was the first set of the interview, and then there was the second set. First set of the interview, please believe me when I say one thing about me, I know how to show up, and that is exactly what I did. I showed up. When I tell you, two-piece suits, the skirts with a blazer, you see the difference was just this much. And once again, a pointy black heel. Nothing says she means business more than a pointy black heel. Guys, that day I was feeling myself. Now one thing about me, if you're a girl that knows how to get ipondo right and you look good in ipondo, I was that girl. I was the it girl. Walk of confidence. So the place where I was getting interviewed was basically like a very big business that was opening a branch in Joburg. They already had a branch in Durban, and they also had one in Cape Town. Now they were opening one in Joburg, and when I got there was 3 people interviewing us. And when I got into the interview room, they started telling me that this was a business that was owned by a family. It was started by a family. They gave me, like when they give you the goals and all of that, the reason why they started the company. It was more of they were telling me instead of me being interviewed. It was like I was interviewing them. It was a very beautiful rundown of like the whole reason why they opened this business and the reason why they are now opening a branch in Joburg. And they told me what they'd expect from me. They asked me questions like, which varsity did you go to, and so forth. Now, of all of these interviewers, as I said, there was 3 of them, and the father was part of the people that was part of the interviews, and his 2 sons who were also there. Now, they had already explained that the one son would be located in Joburg for the next 8 months because it was still a new branch that are opening, so he was going to be overseeing everything that was going to be happening. And then the other son was going to be based in Durban and would only come this side like when there's when he's needed, basically. But the father, he wasn't as involved. He was still overseeing things, but he had already retired. Now mind you, I'm very familiar with this company because I grew up in KZN. I was fully aware of them since a very young age. I've known about this family, I've known about this company. A lot of people know about it. We see it on TV and so forth, right? So the nerves were definitely there, but man, when I entered, I was a bit calm because they weren't like, it wasn't like a strict interview. It was a very calm interview, like like, you know, and me telling them that I'm from KZN brought up stories. You know, people from KZN start asking you, where in KZN are you from? And the father was telling me how he grew up in the area where my father is from, and so already guys lalela destined for greatness. That is what all I can say. Already it wasn't J. Fuck value, it was meant to happen. Straight after the interview, they tell me that it's gonna take 3 days before they inform me whether I will be called for a second interview or not. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm feeling very good about it because, you know, it was very easy. Like my nerves weren't there, like bengi, right? So I'm confident that they're gonna call me back. Literally on the second day after the whole interview, I am called by the receptionist and she tells me that they would like to schedule to see you on Friday for the second interview. So the interview was on Monday, and on Wednesday morning I was called about attending the second interview, and that interview was going to be on Friday. Guys, when I tell you that I knew that this job, it was mine. This one, it was mine. Now Friday comes and once again like you know me, like one thing about me, I get to the second interview and this time it's just the one guy that's there. It's the brother that's there. There's no one else. It's just him, and he runs down everything by me and he's like, this is what I expect from you and all of that. Now suddenly, this is where it starts. Suddenly my job description is no longer an intern. My job description is now basically a PA. I'm a bit confused, but I look at the price that they're offering me and I'm just like, now of course I knew absolutely nothing about being a PA. Like, you know, when I say nothing, I mean absolutely nothing. But the pay seemed really good. The environment, the pay seemed really good. The environment was very, very nice. And so of course ngavuma, and I was like, bet, this is a new challenge for me. I am going to take it head on. Now this man tells me that no, I'm going to be expected to work Monday to Friday. He gives me my hours, he gives me everything and all of that, and I agree. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. Now while we are having a conversation about everything, my duties and what is expected of me, this man asks me, are you in a relationship? Now I'm thinking, is this still part of the interview where you ask a person, maybe as a PA you need to disclose whether you're in a relationship or what? So I tell him that no, I am not in a relationship and all of that. And so somehow we stop talking about the interview and we now just start talking about our personal lives. And yeah, so it becomes a personal life talk, and me and him just literally naturally get into it. And he tells me that he has a fiancée, well basically and all that's left now membeso, and you know, like the traditional stuff, but basically they were married. Hi, so I'm like, oh, congratulations, that's great and all of that. Mind you, I'm not even taking it to my head, you know, like I'm just happy because I have a job. Honestly speaking. Hi, so that goes on and we're in his office for like an hour, and after that he's like, let's go get something to eat. So of course I agreed to having lunch with him. And so mind you, these offices were based in Hyde Park. And he's like, okay, let's get going. We get into his car, very, very fancy car, if I do say so myself. We get into his car and we drive. Now I'm seeing that, okay, we are now joining the freeway. And I'm a bit worried now because we've left behind so many restaurants. Where are we going? We could have just gone to Santon. We could have gone to like what is it, Rosebank? No, Citroen Highway. We are literally on N1. And so I asked him, where are we gonna go for lunch? And he's like, no, there's this place in Pretoria that I like. I'm like, Pretoria? Surprisingly, the chats in the car are on fire. We are having the time of our life. Like, we are chatting it up. Kumnandi siyahleka. You know, like, it feels like we've known each other for forever, but we really don't. So when we get to Pretoria, we go to the spot that is in Hazelwood, and we literally just get there and we order and all of that. And then he tells me, no, feel free to order whatever you want. And I'm not gonna just order whatever I want because you're my boss now, sir. Like, that is a bit weird, if you know what I mean. And so I literally just get Coke and I get something to eat. I remember I had livers. Like, I had something so light, but I couldn't show my true colors because this is my boss. While we're having this late lunch, he starts asking me like personal questions. He keeps going back to the fact of like, are you in a relationship? Are you sure you're not in a relationship? And he keeps emphasizing that he has like a fiance and all of that. So obviously, I'm taking that as, don't think that anything is going to happen between me and you, because he keeps emphasizing the part of the fiance. So I'm okay with that. Okay. So the day goes on, and we literally like, we got to that restaurant probably around 1:30, and we only left at 8:30 at night. Yes. That is how much Jesus got, like, about everything and anything. Mind you, the person that I am talking about was probably like, at that time, he was like in his late 20s, like late 20s, like almost hitting 30. Okay, so that goes on, and then it is now the day for me to start work. Now, when I was going to be starting work, I was going to start work on a Wednesday. I get there on a Wednesday. I'm very early. Of course, I dress to kill, like standard procedure. I dress to kill, and I get to work very early. I'm introduced to everyone that is there. It was a very small office. Like, there wasn't a lot of people in the office, right? So they introduced me to everyone, and they showed me my little desk. Like, I had a very cute little desk that was just by his office, right? So I could hear him if he was calling me or anything like that. Everything goes on and everything introduced. I can see that it's a company that's full of very young people. Like, people are young, people, you know, I'm still settling in, and lunchtime comes. And when lunchtime comes, his fiance walks in. And she's already been told about me. When I tell you, she was so nice, like so nice. She was probably like a year or two older than him. And you could just see that she was a bit older than him, but she was so nice to me. Like, it felt like angazi, man. I don't know how to describe it, but it just felt like we've all known each other for so long. Like, it felt like a reunion. So we had lunch and all of that. So I went for my lunch, and she went to her man's office, and they were talking about whatever they were talking about. And then after I came back for my lunch, she called me in, and she's like, I hope on Friday you're going to be joining us. I'm like, what's happening on Friday? So they told me that on Friday they usually have this thing after work ends early, and then they go out to like thingy. What is the name of that place? I forgot the name of the place. But a lot of people that work like in Hyde Park usually go to that area after work, and they have drinks and all of that. So I'm like, oh, definitely, I will be there. So after that, everything is easy. And then just before she's about to leave, she asks for my number. And I give it to her, of course, because I'm just like, how? That is my boss's wife. What if, you know, one day, you know, I'm not, you know, when I say I was not thinking, there was nothing suspicious about it. Like, absolutely nothing. I was just thinking, I'm in a very healthy environment. Like, you wish you were me to be working in such a healthy environment. So I give her my number, and she immediately sends me a WhatsApp. And then after that, everything just dies down. Thursday, Thursday comes and I'm at work, and she calls me while I'm at work. I answer my phone and she's like, listen, what are you doing after work? And I tell her that nope, I don't have much that I'm doing. I'm just gonna go home and catch up on some filing and all of that, because I needed to do some filing and some data capturing that I needed to. Just like, oh, okay, not a problem, but before you go home, do you mind meeting up with me? Hi, no, not a problem. We can meet up. What's up? Is everything okay? She's like, no, everything is great. I'm like, oh, okay. Hi, sharp. So now I'm excited for after work, because I'm thinking this is an opportunity for me to make a new friend. Like, you know, they like little naive little naive. Now at this point is where the actual story starts, because I was still giving you all a rundown. Now, okay, after work comes, and it is a Thursday. It is after work. She asks if we can meet at this little restaurant that is opposite Bezos when you are coming from Rosebank Mall. Sharp. So we meet there. When I get there, she is already there and she's alone. And so yeah, I join her and we're just talking, we're having a good time. She starts like, you know, the way we were connecting, it felt like we've been friends for forever, me and her. It like we understood each other in a very weird way. Like, I don't want, you know, like it was weird but flirty, but like we're hands. So no, do you get me? Like, it was just, he orders a whole bottle of champagne, and then we end up deciding that we're gonna have like a food platter. And so that's what we also order, and you know, we're just talking, but she keeps asking me like, are you not in a relationship or anything like that? Same questions that her man was asking me, she's also asking me, and I keep assuring her, I'm like, no, I'm not. I even tell her what happened like in my past relationships and everything, because now I'm just like, I don't understand why you guys keep asking me this question. Is there something you guys know that I don't know? And yeah, but like we kick it off, me and her were having the time of our lives, and then literally after we eat, she starts asking me questions like, so how do you feel about polygamy? How do you feel about being with a woman? How do you feel about, she starts asking me things that I don't know, dominating and being submissive and all of that, and she's explaining these terms that she's using, and I'm so confused. I'm like, I guess I don't feel anyway. It's not something I think I would be in, like in a polygamous relationship. I don't think it's made for me, because it sounds a bit controlling. And so I tell her like what I think, like what I really think about it, and she's like, no, you never know, you might be surprised when you get there, what. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm now starting to pick up that this is a bit weird, because everything you're asking me, your man was asking me too, and it's just like, what's going on, you know, like what is actually going on? So she eventually like just drops the topic and we start talking about something else, and yeah, man, we literally had the time of our lives. And then she asked to drop me off at home. I'm like, no, it's all right, I will Uber myself home, that is okay. And she asked me, are you sure it's not safe? And like she was a bit too caring, like a bit too caring. From that day, I started picking up. I'm like, this is a bit weird. You're very caring, and I'm just a PA, Bazalwane. A very like, it's weird. Eventually, that was over, and I get to my house, and I'm just thinking, that was such a weird, you know, like a day. It was just weird. Angazi, man, I don't even know how to explain it to myself, because I literally, when I got home, I text my friend, and I'm like, friend, this is what is happening, and my friend is like, something is off. But you know me, I need to see it through. If something is really off, I want to see it till the end in order to find out what exactly was off. It is now a Friday, so on Friday in the morning, my boss calls me in and he's like, listen, I have a very short notice trip that I need to take, and I need you to come with me to this trip. Hi, sharp. I'm like, okay, when is the trip? Is like Monday. We leave Monday, we come back on Friday. I'll give you all the details, I'll send them to your email and all of that. I'm like, okay, no problem. Do I need to maybe arrange like accommodation, you know, like do the job that I was actually hired for and all of that? He's like, no, I've already arranged everything. I'm like, that's a bit weird, because why was I hired if I don't need to actually do anything? Like, I'm not the one booking the trip, I'm not the one overseeing things. You just tell me that it's already done. And so I found that a bit weird, but I'm like, okay, no, that's not a problem, it's fine, we can go. So that is that. And so I'm just like, okay, cool. Now I'm excited because he's just told me that the trip is going to be in Cape Town. And I'm like, okay, I love me some good time in Cape Town, because of course I was gonna knock off at around 3, because he said we're going to be going to a conference around 3. I knock off, I get to do whatever I want to do in Cape Town. I was excited. Friday, we decided after work that I decided that I was gonna join everyone else and go for drinks and everything. And you know, we did exactly that. We went for drinks with the workers and all of that, and we had a time. The boss or his wife was not there, and we had a time. But now, while we were at that place where we were for drinks after work, things were just a bit weird. I kept asking like people, you know, like I think I was starting to connect things, because I kept asking, what is it with the boss and his wife and all of that? And so there's this girl that I immediately kicked it off with in the office. So I was asking her, because she had told me that she was from the Durban branch, and so she moved to Joburg. So I asked her, I'm like, no man, what is the deal with the boss? They are really, really nice people. She's like, yeah, they are very nice people and all of that. But like, I wasn't getting anything out of her. Like, she was not telling me nothing. Like, absolutely not. But I could tell that she knows something. She's just not telling me what she knows. Like, there was just something. Like, the more I kept thinking about it, the more I was just like, this couple is weird. This couple is weird, and I know they are weird. Ask this girl, I'm like, so that Cape Town conference, what exactly happens at a conference and all of this? Like, Cape Town conference, there's no conference. We only have conferences at the end of the year. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh no, nothing. I must have my dates mixed up, because I'm now thinking, if no one in this office knows about this conference, then where exactly am I going? Like, what is this? Monday comes and we are literally on our way to the airport. And when I get to the airport, I find the boss there, and he is there with his wife. Now, I think that was a bit weird for me, but I was just like, oh, okay, it's Cape Town. So I guess, you know, the wife wanted to come along to Cape Town. I would want to go too, if I was your wife. Get on the plane, and the whole way to Cape Town, I am passed out. I'm asleep, because I was very tired on that Monday morning. And so when we get to Cape Town, there is a car that comes to fetch us. And also, the car that comes to fetch us, you can tell that it was an Uber. So I was like, things were just not connecting when we arrived. Like, things were just not connecting. And then on top of that, we get there and we're sleeping in an Airbnb instead of a hotel. What conference are we going to that requires us to sleep in an Airbnb instead of a hotel? Does that make sense to y'all? Because to me, it did not make sense to me. But once again, I will go with the flow. As soon as we get to the Airbnb, I realized that it is a 2-bedroom Airbnb, and it is like a very cozy Airbnb, like, you know, something very cute in Camp Bay, something like, it was not giving conference at all. So when we get there, I asked my boss, I'm like, so what exactly are we doing on day 1? Because I wasn't given a rundown of anything that's going to be happening. I'm just here. I don't know what's the name of the conference we're here for. I don't know who are we, and like, I don't have a plan. I don't have an agenda. I don't have anything. But it's like, no, don't worry. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning after we've all rested. On the same day of arrival, the wife is like to me, she wants to go out, and she asks me if I'm keen on going out for like dinner or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? She's like, okay, no, let's get ready and then we will go out. I'm thinking we're just gonna go and have dinner at a restaurant. No, guys, we went to Airbnb. Do you know Airbnb? We went to Airbnb. So now it's the 3 of us. Immediately when we get to Airbnb, we get some food and we get some drinks. And you know, like, we're having a time. Everything is great and everything is just good. Like, I'm still not thinking much of it, but I can tell that something is up. But I'm not thinking much of it because I'm here to have a good time. After all, I'm in Cape Town. So what do you mean? I guess, Anna, that night we get lit. Do you know what lit is? Lit to the maximum of lit. We get so lit, like so lit, to the point where we got to Airbnb around 10. and we only left Airbnb at 5 a.m. When we left around 5 a.m., we passed by the garage. There was a Woolies. We bought some stuff, and then we went back to the Airbnb. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, I need to knock out of this because we have work to do in the morning. Do you get me? But when we get there, they open another bottle. They're like, let's get into it. I'm like, Candy, us 17 in just a few hours. Don't we have a conference to attend? Like, are you guys not... hi, okay, no, they're like, no, don't worry, relax, we've got this, like, like, live a bit, have some fun. Sana, we had a time again, we had a time, and we eventually fell asleep around 9 a.m. Fell asleep, and I had an alarm on, so I woke up around 11 by that alarm. Like, I wouldn't have woken up if it wasn't for that alarm. The way I was so tired, the alarm woke me up, and after the alarm wakes me up and everything, like, I could see because nothing else is going to happen except for izaza. That was the only thing that was gonna save me. I wake up and they're still asleep, so I literally try and knock on their door just to wake them up so that we can get on with the conference, because Aniti, that is what we are here for, right? Sana, no one wakes up until 1:30. These people are still sleeping. Eventually, they wake up around 1:30, and they're just like, no, don't worry, we're not late or anything like that. Just get ready. I'm like, okay, cool. I go into my room and I start getting ready, and I'm thinking we're gonna make our way to the conference. Sana, I am now ready. I'm wearing my formal pants and I'm wearing my shirt. And I'm ready to go to a conference because that is what I thought we were here for, right? Tell me why my boss comes out, he's wearing shorts and a golf tee. His wife comes out and she's wearing a sundress. Where is the conference in all of that? Because last time I checked the conference, we need to be dressed formally. Sana, they say to me, no. So like the wife looks at me and she starts laughing. She's like, why are you wearing formal? I'm like, how? The conference. Isn't that what we're here for? She's like, no, come sit down. Hey. In life, bazalwane. In life. I sit down and the wife is like to me, listen, this whole conference chat has to end because that is not what we're here for. We are not here for a conference. We are not here for business. It is simply pleasure. Now I'm confused. You're here for pleasure. She's like, no, don't worry. So now I'm a bit, like I'm sitting, but I'm now ready to hear what exactly is all of this about. Hi. She sits and she's like to me, no, listen, we literally enjoy having you around, and we like your vibe. We like the type of person that you are. We think you're a very beautiful woman. She's just dishing out compliments, and now I'm worried. I'm just like, yeah, no, something is about to go down, because one thing about me, two things for sure, I know how this plays out. So she tells me that, no, the reason why when I went out with you, I was asking if you're willing to be in a polygamous relationship and all of that is because I want you to be a part of our union. I say, come again. You say, what? She runs it down to me. She tells me that no, her and her husband have been looking to basically make sure that their love stays, stays happy, stays happening, and just all of that. And now I'm just hearing all these terms once again. It's not polygamy, it's polintontoni, it's and she's talking about this there. It's as if it's nothing, like kumnani, it's just a casual chat that we're having. I'm sorry, but I'm a bit weirded out by all of this. And she's just talking about it. The man is just there, he's just smiling, and I'm just there, I'm just like, is this normal? Is this really, really normal? They run it down by me and they're like, please don't be scared or anything like that. We just want you to try it out. Let us know what you think and then we can take it from there. So I'm like, oh, okay. I hear you. And I'm a very open-minded person. So you know what, it's okay. And so they give me an offer. They're like, listen, we really don't need a PA in the office or anything like that. We don't need a PA, we don't need interns or anything like that, but we're willing to make you an offer. They hit me with an offer. Even you weren't gonna say no to that offer. Unamanga, you are a liar. I hear their offer and I look at both of them and I'm just like, but these are fine people. These are fine looking people. And that money is good money. Wait, like, be honest. Be very, very honest in your life. Also, you do it. Hi. So I'm like, no, I need to think about it. She's like, no, that's okay, cool. Hi, sharp. The day goes on. It is now around 4:30, 5:30. She asked me if we want to go out for dinner, but this time it was just gonna be me and her for dinner. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. You know, because Langihle is such an open-minded person. Langihle just, you know, she just oozes niceness. I guess me and her go for dinner. We go for dinner, and after during dinner, we're not talking about what we were talking about during the day. We're just having like a casual conversation. And then in between dinner, this lady comes closer to me and she puts her hand on my thigh. And instead of pushing that hand away, it felt good. It felt like, okay, but also maybe it was because of the alcohol. Maybe I had too much to drink at that time, but it felt good. And it just, like, you know, when your body, like that feeling, that's what my body felt like. My body felt like that, and I didn't stop her. Like, she just kept on brushing with her hand, and that feeling in me was absolutely crazy. Literally, what I felt like saying, I was like, please bring the bill now and let's get out of here. That's what I felt like saying. Eventually, we finished having dinner, and at this point, I'm feeling some type of way. I don't know whether I'm coming or I'm going. We get back to the Airbnb, and Mr. Boss is not there. He was not there, and he had went out with some friends, and she had even explained to me that no, he was going to be coming back later and all of that. So I'm okay with that. But now the thing is, it's just me and you in the house, and I'm kind of feeling a certain way. I'm kind of feeling, you know, like that brushing on my legs kind of did something to me. So what's next? So because there was alcohol galore in that house, in that Airbnb, she pours us some champagne. And guys, I promise you, I did not even finish that glass. Me was already on top of that woman. Me. I was already on top of that woman. And when I tell you, Uba, what happened. Yo. In my whole life, I've never felt like that. Like that. What happened. And literally, while we were in the middle of what we were doing, Mr. Boss walked in, and he decided that he also wanted to be a part of it. And it happened. Guys, you know, when I say it happened, and in it happening, I was like, this is great. This is amazing. This is life. This right here is exactly what I signed up for in life. Oh, it was good. The rest of our stay in Cape Town felt like we were just like a 3-by marriage couple. Like we were just a couple. Like we did everything together. Like things were a bit still weird, but like for me, but like they didn't make me feel weird. It just still felt really good. Like it felt like it was meant to happen the way that it was happening, but like in a weird way, right? Cape Town ends, we go back to our normal lives and everything, and this is an ongoing thing of us always just being together. Like I think we had a a way of working things out, because I was still working as a PA that barely ever did anything in that office. And I think people could start picking up that something is happening here, because Daniela is just now always, you know, like all the time. But it was it went on and it went on and it went on, and it was nice and it was great, and it just oh, it was good. But to cut this very long story short, it happened and it happened and it happened for months and months and months, till a point where I had to, you know, like sit down with myself and say, is this really my life? Is it? And literally when I had that conversation with myself, that is when the question of marriage came in, where they were willing to make everything public about us three being, so basically I was going to be the second wife, but they had put it in their own terms. They had a term for everything, and I had actually agreed. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had actually agreed, because I thought that was the most amazing thing that had ever happened to me. A few months down the line, it just was not working anymore. Like, it got to a point where all I wanted was the woman and not the man. I was not interested in that man. I noticed that I was interested in the woman and not the man. So it became a bit offish for me, because there were times where it was just me and the man, and there were times where it was just me and the woman, or sometimes it would be all three of us. But I enjoyed more time with the woman than I did with the man. So I eventually just like, no, why am I? And I tried to convince myself that I could do it, but I couldn't, because it was just so weird. I don't know why I'm sharing this story. Like, this is wrong, but it happened. It happened. That was an experience in my life. Like, that woman, what an amazing woman. What an amazing woman. Oof. No, she was amazing. She really, really was. Like, no doubt about it. But yeah, that's just what happened. That's the story. Like, yeah.